And the people will say that this is not talking about Jesus Christ. But I think it's very clear that this is talking about Jesus Christ. It says, my bones are all out of joint. It says, thou hast brought me to death. It says, they have pierced my hands and my feet. That is very descriptive of what happened to Jesus Christ on the cross. It says, I may tell on my bones, they look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture. And that's what they did to Jesus. They nailed him on a cross. They crucified him. They pierced his hands and his feet, and they gambled with his clothes. This is more proof that God is holy and he is God. And the followers of Judaism will say that this is not prophesying of Jesus Christ. And it clearly is. People will say, well, they just believe the Old Testament. They don't believe the Bible. Jesus said, if you'd believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote of me. And David sure wrote about Jesus right here. You could not tell me otherwise that that's not talking about our Lord Jesus Christ. It says in verse 19, but be not thou far from me, O Lord, O my strength. Haste thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog. Again, David is, this whole psalm is just describing how David feels broken. He feels abandoned. He feels like God is not hearing his prayers. And it's also describing Jesus and how he was crucified and he was abandoned on the cross by himself. Now I want to go back real quick to the prophecy of Jesus and kind of explain that, because I found this out by Brother Mark taught me this a couple months ago. And that is whenever Jesus said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? It's as if he was on the cross and he said Psalm 22. So way back when, they didn't have chapters and verses. They remembered songs and psalms by the first verse. It's kind of like if we hear a word, we probably know the song. Like if I said, O'Reilly's, what do you think of? You think of, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Ow! So the same way, whenever Jesus was on the cross and he's hanging there and he says, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Wouldn't you think that the scholars and the people who knew the Bible, who were growing up and they were taught these psalms and they were taught these songs, that they weren't thinking, my God, why hast thou not forsaken me? And they start singing the song in their head. And they go through the verses. And God's just showing them there that he's fulfilling more prophecy. He's showing even more that he is God.